bishop looked smaller the second time I visited him, like the tears had been eating him from the inside while we were apart. I tossed a blood-stained photo onto his desk. "People are dying." Closed his eyes, said, "I know." No more half-confessions. For a long moment only thunder answered. Then he poured himself a whiskey with shaking hands. He said the church accepted donations, large donations, from Moretti. "Yeah? For what?" "Shelters, orphanages, food programs. You laundered mob money through the church charities." His voice cracked. "We believed the money could still do good." That was convenient theology. His shoulders sagged. "You think I don't know that?" For the first time, he looked less like a bishop and more like an old man drowning in regret. "Photographs were never above vice," he whispered. "They documented financial meetings, transfers, agreements." "So why the blackmail?" "Because if the church talks..." He looked toward the cathedral windows. "City falls with it." Round midnight, I returned to the ninth circle. Bartender pretended not to notice me heading downstairs. Smart man. Basement smelled like cigar smoke and wet concrete. Voices echoed beyond a half-open door. I moved closer. Mayor Griggs stood beside Moretti, near a table covered in maps and contracts. Police captains drank bourbon nearby. Everybody looked comfortable. That told me all I needed. "The bishop folds tomorrow," Griggs said. "After that, the waterfront project moves clean." "And the federal investigation?" asked the captain. Moretti smiled. "Handled." My shoe scraped concrete. Tiny sound, big mistake. Every head turned. Moretti sighed. "Mr. Find," he said sadly, "you really should have listened." Gunfire erupted. I dove behind crates while bullets chewed apart the walls. Somebody screamed. Jazz thundered faintly upstairs while men tried to murder each other below it. I fired twice and shattered a light. Darkness swallowed the basement. Then I ran. Upstairs, through the kitchens, out the back alley into cold rain and neon reflections. A car roared by me. I vaulted a fence, crashed through garbage cans, and disappeared into the maze behind the waterfront while bullets sparked against brick. By the time they lost me, dawn was bleeding gray into the sky, and I knew one thing for certain. The bishop had never been the target. He was the loose thread. Clara found me back in my office around sunrise. She stood in the doorway, smoking silently. "You look terrible," she said. "I got dressed for the occasion." She didn't smile this time. "I told Moretti you were investigating." The room went still. I studied her carefully. "Why?" "Because you don't understand what happens if this breaks open." Her face sharpened. "Police fracture, the mob starts shooting, the unions riot, half the city burns." "So you sold me out for stability?" "I was trying to stop a war." Rain slid down the windows behind her. "You know the worst thing about this city, Will? I've got a list. Everybody thinks they're the good guy." That landed harder than the bullets had, because she believed it, and maybe she was right. She stepped closer. "I told them where you'd go. Nothing more. People died. So will more people if you keep digging." For a second, neither of us spoke. Then she placed a folder on my desk. "What's this?" "Insurance," she said. Inside were copies, contracts, bank transfers, photographs, enough evidence to destroy City Hall. I looked up. "Why give me this?" Her eyes softened just slightly. "Because despite everything," she said quietly, "I still trust you more than them." Then she walked out in the rain and left me alone with the city's obituary in my hands. The rain kept falling after Clara left. In this city it usually did. Like the sky had seen too much and forgot how to stop bleeding. I sat behind my desk staring at the folder while the pawn shop sign downstairs painted the office red in slow pulses. Every few seconds, the room looked like a crime scene. Maybe it already was. Folder lay open beside my revolver. Contracts, bank transfers, photographs. One picture showed Mayor Griggs shaking hands with Vincent Moretti beside a shipment manifest down at Pier 19. Another showed 2 police captains carrying crates into a warehouse registered under a church relief fund. There were dates, account numbers, offshore transfers routed through diocesan charities. Enough evidence to bury half the city, which explained why I'd probably be dead before morning. I poured whiskey into my coffee and tried to decide whether Clara had just saved my life or signed its death warrant. The phone rang, not loudly, not dramatically, just once. That scared me more. I picked up slowly. Find? Heavy breathing answered first. Then a woman's voice. You need to leave your office. Not Clara, not soft enough. Who is this? They found Benedict. My grip tightened around the receiver. What happened? A pause. He's hanging from the cathedral bell tower. The line went dead. Outside, thunder rolled over Mercer Avenue. I grabbed my coat and gun. St. Bartholomew looked different at dawn. Less holy, more exhausted. Rainwater streaming down, gargoyles like tears from stone faces. Police cruisers crowded the front steps. Reporters circled behind barricades, smoking cigarettes and smelling opportunity. I slipped through the side entrance before anyone spotted me. The cathedral was chaos wrapped in whispers. Priests moved quickly through corridors, pretending not to panic. Somewhere deeper inside, somebody was crying. Father Benedict hung 3 stories above the nave from a bell rope like a broken marionette. His bare feet swayed slowly over polished marble. A detective I recognized stood beneath him, smoking under a no-smoking placard. Detective Al Hart, Vice District, thick neck, permanent scowl. One of the few cops in the city who looked uncomfortable taking bribes. Hart glanced over. Find? His eyes narrowed. Funny seeing you here. I could say the same. He looked back at the body overhead. Official story says suicide. And unofficial? Hart flicked ash onto the cathedral floor. Unofficial says somebody worked him over before they strung him up. He lowered his voice. Wrist bruised, broken ribs, fingernails torn and bloody. Interrogation marks. I stared upward at Benedict's pale face. Somebody thought he knew something, I muttered. Hart studied me carefully. You want to tell me why every corpse in this city lately seems connected to your investigation? That depends. On what? Whether you're asking as a cop or a survivor. For a second I thought he might hit me. Instead he sighed. You ever notice how dirty this town feels lately? Lately, I said. His mouth twitched to spite himself. Then footsteps echoed behind us. Bishop Vale approached slowly through the cathedral aisle, wearing black robes that suddenly looked heavier than usual. He stared up at Benedict's body without blinking. I warned him to stay quiet, he whispered. Hart looked sharply at the bishop. About what? Vale ignored the question. His face looked hollowed out from the inside. Mr. Find, he said quietly, walk with me. We moved through silent corridors into the bishop's private chambers. The moment the doors closed, the old man collapsed into a chair like somebody had cut the strings inside him. They're accelerating, he murmured. Who? He looked up at me, the men behind Moretti. That landed cold. Moretti isn't running this? Bishop gave a tired shake of his head. Vincent is ambitious, violent, dangerous, but he makes mistakes. Proximity to power for ownership of it. I lit a cigarette. Everything started making sense. Dale opened a cabinet and removed another bottle of whiskey. His hand shook pouring it. 5 years ago, he said, the City nearly went bankrupt. I said nothing. Industrial collapse, shipping strikes, debt. The papers never reported how close we came. He swallowed whiskey. A group of men intervened quietly, investors, judges, union leaders, organized crime, political operatives. Civic Improvement Club, I said. They stabilized everything. At gunpoint? At whatever cost was necessary. Thunder groaned outside the cathedral windows. The waterfront redevelopment. Vail continued, is only phase one. Phase one of what? His eyes lifted toward me. Ownership. The words sat heavily between us. They don't want money, I realized. They want permanence. That explained everything. Blackmail wasn't about exposure. Murders weren't cleanup. The docks weren't business. This was hostile acquisition wrapped in civic reform. They bought the city, I said quietly. No, Vail whispered. They became it.